Fake news. We hear about that more and more nowadays. It's not only with politics, because you see whether you're on the right side, left side, or in the middle, a lot of the stories we read online or watch or listen to are fake. And the problem about that is once perception becomes reality, then all of a sudden something that was fake news is a reality and it's perceived as the truth. Working for Compass for roughly 4.5 years, I think of Compass and again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I say that a lot, but at Compass, I feel like, and I'm not trying to say this in an egotistical way, but I feel sort of like we are, I think of Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Because Tom Brady and the New England Patriots did very well in the past, they were very polarizing. People either loved them because they were the champions or they despised them because their team wasn't doing as well. And whether that's you or not, it doesn't matter. But that's just my analogy with Compass, because Compass is the #1 brokerage in the US with the most volume, probably close to the highest average sale per agent in many areas, and so many other things. Strong collaboration without ego. We become polarizing. We're sort of like a politician that gets a lot of news once their name is mentioned. So that's Compass. Whatever story, anytime someone puts a story about Compass, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it. And so with that said, Compass in their second quarter of this year, they released some figures, and with any figure that are released, any figures that are released, there becomes fake news. And with that said, this video, I wanted to share some of the news with you, reality and perception. So I'm going to be sharing my screen a lot. I'm going to share it and then I'm going to go away from it because I don't want you to read the top 10 that I have. I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why Compass is in great position to continue going forward compared to some of the competition. Typically, I don't talk about the competition, but I just think, just like anything, when when perception becomes reality, every once in a while, it's good to share the actual facts. And I'm going to share that with you. So let me share my screen with you. So these are top 10 facts about Compass. So #1, as of the second quarter, Compass had $431 million in cash, more than any of its competitors, and access to over $300 million in additional cash, an additional credit line. So 431 million in cash, and then an additional 300 million in credit line. So roughly close to $750 million. What a lot of people don't know is Compass has relatively zero debt. And that's much different than some of the other brokerages, some of the biggest brokerage actually. And let me share my #2 stat with you. So #2, our cash balance dropped 45 million from the first to second quarter, not 101 million like some headlines suggested. The Real Deal and many of these other online publications will share this news. And unfortunately, so Compass, typically what the CEO does, Robert Refkin, he's an amazing person, super bright guy. He always tries to rise above, he wants to just not really respond to things, because since Compass has been around, there's been a ton of negativity. He always plays the high road. He doesn't talk about stuff like that. But as a CEO of the company, he has to defend ourselves, because what happens is this perception becomes reality to our clients, to agents that are thinking about joining Compass, the agents that are at Compass. And so he has to, share the facts. So that's what I'm doing here as well. So our cash balance dropped 45 million from the first to second quarter, not 101 million like some headlines suggested. By comparison, Anywhere, so that's the name of the company, Anywhere is Corcoran, Sotheby's, Coldwell Banker, Century 21. It's a big conglomerate of companies. And, all these companies, they used to be number one for many years in total sales volume. But last year, Compass was able to, within 10 years of being a company, become the number one company to sell the most volume of real estate in the US. And because of that, there's some animosity towards Compass. So to give you an idea, their cash balance is down almost 500 million in the last 2 quarters. We were down 45 million. They were down almost 500 million in the last quarter, in the last 2 quarters. And they have almost $3 billion in debt, but Compass has virtually none. All these are public numbers because Compass is a publicly traded company. If for any reason you are doubting what I'm saying, you can look online and you can look up all the information. Number three, we are cutting hundreds of millions of dollars in expenses. None of these cuts will impact the quality of services to our agents or clients. These cuts are proactively designed to make us profitable faster. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. I want to dive into that a bit. So one of the reasons why Compass is making these cuts is a couple things. So first of all, let's go back a step. Compass, because we're a tech company, so typically a real estate brokerage has very few full-time software engineers for the brokerage. And if you don't believe me, what you can do a Google search and put in a company, put in Sotheby's, Anywhere, Coldwell Banker, whatever, and then do Sotheby's software engineer, probably put Sotheby's International Real Estate software engineer. And you'll see like positions for hiring and stuff like that. Do the same thing with Compass, and you'll see there's a huge presence with that. So going a little deeper into that, Compass has 3 hubs for engineers. We have one in Seattle, we have one in New York, and we have one in South India, in Hyderabad. So we have a ton of engineers for the company. So combined, all these engineers together are still more like these 700 that we have. And I'm skipping a step, but the 700 engineers that we have within our company, within Compass, is probably more than the combined amount of all other real estate companies put together. I mean, just think about that for a second. If you take all real estate companies and you combine them and you add their engineers, it's still probably less, and probably significantly less than the 700 we have at Compass. In the past, we had 1,500, 2,500. We had a lot. Whatever the number is, we had a lot. And so what happens is, as a tech company, what happens is you first build a foundation. So when I started working at Compass in 2018, I'll be honest, our technology wasn't good. We had many missteps, and even Robert Refkin, in one of his New Year's emails that he shared with the community that a lot of people could see, you could probably Google it. He said he wants to take this year to improve the technology, and they did that. And I got to tell you now, Compass's technology helps me, our team, and all the agents significantly more than any other platform for real estate. Until you work at Compass, until you have seen the platform now, not in the past, because you could have some previous Compass agents that have left, and usually Compass agents leave because their production went down and they weren't able to keep their split. Not always, but the majority of time. If you do a Google search on an agent, and obviously not all our sales are public because we have off-market sales and other type of confidential sales that take place. But for the most part, if you see an agent that leaves Compass, I would check, and they say that they didn't like it or whatever. If it was in the beginning few years, yeah, I get it. But if it was within the last 2 years, I would definitely Google that agent and see what they sold in the past and what they did prior to leaving at Compass. And you could see their sales probably went down and they left because their split went down. So anyways, I got into the weeds a bit, but when you look at a tech company, a startup company, we've only been around 10 years and you're creating a platform, you're building the foundation. So in the beginning, you need way more employees in the beginning to do things. So we had many, many more engineers in the past. And now because we built a great foundation and we are going to continually improve the foundation, we don't need that many engineers. And obviously the market is tight and the world economy is shifting. So obviously we wouldn't want to get rid of all of them, but we had to get rid of the ones that made sense because they were because we did a lot of they were very good and they were great enough to accomplish what we set out to accomplish. Okay, so let me share my screen again and let us go to number 4. And this is sort of what I spoke about. Compass has a technology team of over 700 people, likely larger than every traditional brokerage combined. Okay, so let me go to the next one. This is okay. So our CTO was replaced by Shay Artsy, our head of engineering. So before I get into that, I'm going to tell you about our previous CTO. Our previous CTO was an incredible person. His name is Joseph Sarosh. Joseph was amazing. He's helped Compass get to where we are. He was a former CTO of Microsoft he was in charge of artificial intelligence at Microsoft. Huge position. He also worked for Amazon, had a high position there, and he helped build the products at Compass. So he was replaced recently, again, a cost-cutting measure, but also we put like an incredible person to take his place. So Shay has 25 years of experience, 16 patents, a PhD from MIT, worked at Amazon and IBM, and was previously a CTO. He reports to Greg Hart, our COO, who previously ran Amazon Prime Video with a team of a 2,000 person technology team reporting to him, and launched Amazon Alexa and Echo. So let me get into that a bit. If you have an Echo, I don't want to say the name again because I have a device pretty close to me. He was the one that started Alexa. So I said it, but he's the one that introduced that product. Alexa off. Sorry about that. So he created that device with his group of people that he worked with. They launched it, and Prime Video as well. So this is the person that we have that's taking care of so many things at Compass. And imagine if you have that position and you directly reported to Jeff Bezos, you were like his right-hand man, you would think that there's no reason for this person to leave Amazon. I mean, obviously he was making a ton of money. He had a lot of things going for him. The only reason you would leave that position is if you saw opportunity in a different market that you really wanted to change and you knew you could. So that's why Greg Hart joined Compass. I'm guessing probably about 2.5 years ago. I think he joined right before COVID or during COVID. Okay, so let me share my screen again with you. So number 6, Compass has invested over 900 million in building the industry's first fully integrated contact to close technology platform. Like a well-constructed home, we have a strong foundation and structure that we will continue to build on. Just like I mentioned before, in the beginning, you need a lot more people to build that foundation. And like I was saying, the products at Compass for our agents, for our clients, are incredible compared to whatever is on the market. I worked at Sotheby's for 3 years. I worked at Coldwell Banker for 11 years. I've had many third-party applications, software that I've used. Some were actually exceptional, but Compass now, all their products are way, way better than the competition. A lot of artificial intelligence does things like right away without me having to ask to do anything. I'll give you an example. The other day, I had a property, it was listed. It's in Hallandale. It's a great property for sale, by the way. It's 700,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, 1,300 square feet. Jade on the team and I listed it. And the second it went on the multiple listing service, I got an email from Compass with the automatic video made, marketing media created, and just a bunch of marketing assets that were there. I didn't even do anything. All it was live on the MLS. It had a bunch of stuff immediately for us, stuff that would probably take us maybe an hour or two in the past to create, was done automatically. So so our foundation has been built, and obviously it's doing really well. So number 7, Compass is home to 18% of the Real Trends Wall Street Journal top 1,000 agents and teams by volume, the highest percentage of any company. We pride ourselves in delivering top quality service to every consumer at every price point. So a lot of times you'll think of Sotheby's as, they do luxury. Again, I worked for Sotheby's. I love Sotheby's, but when you think of Sotheby's, you would think like maybe, they do luxury more than other companies. And at the end of the day, Compass has the highest percentage of agents in this Wall Street Journal Real Trends group of agents compared to any other company in the US. And I'd like to, congratulate our team. Although we're not in the 1,000, we did make the list of being, a Real Trends Wall Street Journal top performing team. So we're very, very proud of that. And obviously, our customers, our clients, our partners in real estate, and Compass helped us get there. And thankfully, this year's been even better, knock on wood. Hopefully it gets even better than that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So number 8, every publicly traded competitor in the real estate industry is down between 50 to 80% in 2022. So I'm going to keep it real with you guys now. The Compass stock right now, it sucks. I love Compass, but just like any real estate stock, because of the economy, it's doing terrible. And I think because I know real estate, my wife and I invest in things that we know. And since I know real estate, been doing this 18 plus years, I invest in Anywhere, which is, like I mentioned earlier, it's at Sotheby's, Coldwell Banker, Corcoran, and a bunch of other companies. So we invest in that stock. We invest in Zillow. We invest in Open Door. We invest in where else? There are a few others, EXP and a few other stocks. And bottom line is, all of the stocks this year suck. I believe in Compass. Compass, it IPO'd at 18. That same day it was at 20. And today it's at its all-time low. And I get it. Facebook's doing that. Even Tesla's dropped quite a bit. And all our stocks that my wife and I have that were super, super blue chip and doing really well aren't doing well now. So, honestly, Compass stock right now isn't doing well. But one of the things that helps us a whole lot is we're preemptive with things that we do. We take cost-cutting measures. We also built the foundation already. We have a ton of cash. We only burned 45 million in the first 2 quarters of the year compared to 500 million with Anywhere. So we're doing okay there. They have $3 billion debt. We have virtually no debt. So if something were to happen to Compass, knock on wood, it doesn't, If that happens, I would think that every other real estate company would burn before Compass does. Okay, so the next one. So Compass has invested 880 million in Compass Concierge, the first program of its kind to support over 30,000 sellers with home preparation services that help their homes sell faster and for more money. So in case you don't know what Compass Concierge is, a while back, so there was a time when Zillow, Open Door, a few other companies were buying people's homes. They were fixing them up and then selling them. But Compass thought that's not fair. If it's a seller and if investor is going to buy their home and do the renovations to make the money, Compass thought, what, we have a ton of money. Let's do this. Let's have a program where the seller could pick whatever services they needed. Compass doesn't do these services. They don't say who you have to use. So I'll give you an example. Say you have a home and you have your kitchen. Say you have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. Your kitchen, say it's $1 million, and you feel like if you just improve that kitchen and you did some of the renovations already, and you needed to like improve it, cost 20,000 or whatever the number was, and you knew that if you did that, or another example, or if you staged it because it was empty, if you did those things, it would give you significantly more than what you spent. And you would make that money that investor would make. So Compass thought it's only fair that the sellers would get that money and not these third-party investors. So Compass, what they did, and they still do, is they front the money to the sellers, 0% interest, and they do those renovations, they do the improvements, whether it's landscape, whatever it is, they do it, and the seller has to pay at closing. So there are other companies that do this, but what they typically do is they charge a higher interest rate, they charge a higher commission, they will tell you that you have to use some certain companies that they have, or they'll say, if you don't sell it by this time, you have to reduce the price every so often by this much. Compass doesn't do any of that. They make it pretty easy to do it. So they're the first ones that started that. They still do it at 0% interest, and it benefits the sellers quite a bit. So let's go to the next one. So the last one, Compass is the #1 brokerage in sales volume in the US and a Fortune 500 company with nearly 30,000 agents and over 500 offices around the country, selling and leasing an average one home every minute, with an average sales price more than 2x the national average in the second quarter. Compass did not exist 10 years ago. So like I mentioned, the agents at Compass do quite a bit better than the average agent in the US. One of the things that the last thing that I wanted to share, two last things I wanted to share. In the past, when I worked at Sotheby's, we would always say how well Sotheby's, our internet traffic was. And it used to do really well. But now, and if you don't believe me, I can send you the stat, I can send you the reference for it. Compass now, their internet traffic is exponentially higher than any other real estate brokerage. So people are going online and searching Compass significantly more often than any other brokerage, whether it's Sotheby's, Douglas Elliman, Corcoran, whatever company it is. Compass is doing a much better job of getting eyeballs on properties. And the last thing I wanted to say, this is probably the thing I'm most proud of at Compass, besides all the leadership and everyone that works there. If you hear of an employee that works at Compass, not an agent, an employee, ask him how many interviews it took him. It probably would take them 10 to 14 interviews to get a job at Compass, because they're so picky. But one of the things that they do before they hire any agent or team leader at Compass for real estate, or someone that is just working as an employee of Compass, meaning like they're behind the scenes, they're not agents. They ask 3 people at Compass 2 questions about that person. They ask them, is this person collaborative? And do they have no ego? And Compass doesn't care how much production someone does or how great they are at their job. If 3 out of 3 people don't answer yes to that person saying they collaborate and they have no ego, they are not interested. I've gotten quite a few questions about agents that wanted to apply at Compass. And the last thing any agent wants to do is hurt our culture. So there are quite a few agents, some of them that sold hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate where Compass had asked me about them. And I told them honestly, you know, they don't collaborate. And they're like, okay, we're not interested. And I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, we don't want that with our culture. So I'm pretty proud of that. And another thing about Compass is you have to have a certain sales volume to be a team leader or principal at Compass. No other brokerage, to my knowledge, does that, where they look at volume, where you have to sell quite a bit, and ask if this person's collaborative and have no ego. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone with this video. And if I did, I'm sorry. These are the facts, not fake news. And if you need any references or resources for me to share with you, always happy to. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Love you guys. All the best.